Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, I guess I could just probably put a random intro and just have it as a joke. Nothing's more funny than PlayStation, these days. But of course, I want to do another video. This is, of course, a sequel to my video that I want to say I think this came out back in April of this year. But in that video, I had been talking about the worst kinds of gamers. And that video was pretty fun to make. And I've done more about general gaming. Actually, this was back in July, that's my bad. I thought this was April. So I've done quite a few videos talking about the general gaming sphere, and I like talking about this. I want to talk about more of it. So, obviously, join me for my top 5 worst gamers, and thank you all for watching in advance. At number 5, we of course have harassers. Now, obviously, some people are probably wondering, well, what's a harasser? What do they do? This is talking about gamers that will literally just go out of the way to harass anyone. If there's a voice actor they don't like, let's harass them. If a company made a small mistake, let's harass them. If they don't like the ending for a game, let's harass them. You name it, there's probably bound to be harassment from it. And it's kind of sad that people act like this. Now, obviously, gaming is not a perfect medium, and there will be mess ups. But I think going after people and unfairly targeting them for no reason, I think it's just a lot of bad sportsmanship and kind of sad behavior. And one of the more notable cases of this was Laura Bailey being harassed after The Last of Us 2 came out because people did not like Abby, and it's been sad about that. And I think it's also happened with other voice actors too. Yeah, Erica Lindbeck, who has been known for voicing several characters. I mostly know her for voicing Futaba Sakura from Persona 5. She got harassed because people were posting AI to mimic her voice, and she was against that, and people harassed her for it, which is obviously a huge rabbit hole when it comes to that, and I'll probably talk about that in game controversy sometime. But it's generally really sad that people do have to go out of the way just to harass other people. Next up on the list is, of course, rage quitters. Everyone knows them. You're playing a game. You're playing Mortal Kombat, or you're playing Street Fighter, or you're playing Call of Duty. Nope, you're not playing that anymore. Someone rage quit. Yeah. To be honest, I've not had this happen too frequently, but I've had this happen a few times, and I've seen this happen a couple times too. In fact, there was one YouTuber, Low Tier God, who became infamous because he would rage quit matches in Street Fighter or other fighting games. DSP has also become notorious too for his rage quitting. The best one being Persona 3 Fez. That's probably one of the funniest game clips because Atlas also poked fun at him. Rage quitters are just annoying. They're people you don't want to play with. I get it, everyone has a bad day. I've had to take a break from some games. I've quit some online games because I wasn't really feeling it. But usually I do try to finish the match. I just feel like if you're just constantly rage quitting because, oh no, someone beat you and you didn't want your kill-death ratio to lower or whatever, I kind of think that's a little pathetic behavior. It's just a game. Well, not according to Ninja. And at number 3, we of course have the indie and AAA hater. Now, this I feel could have fit with the elitism that I talked about on the last video, but I also feel like this earns its own spot on the list because recently I've been seeing a lot of people who just do nothing but just shit on AAA games. The new Call of Duty comes out, well, they hate it. Grand Theft Auto, they hate it. Okay, what about Resident Evil 9? They hate it. Okay, what about, I guess what about the Wolverine game? They hate it. Okay, what about Fable? They hate it. Is there anything these people don't hate? Well, they don't hate any games. But then you have the other side who will just refuse to touch indie games. Now, this is kind of the whole modern versus retro stuff, and it's just a bunch of, sad people really just having to shit on our games. Now, sure, I have issues with AAA games. They have issues. They have flaws. I don't like some of them. There's also a lot of indie games that I've had an issue with because they weren't as interesting, or they were super overrated and really added nothing. But I've also liked both. I've played a lot of AAA games and I've played some indie games. So it's something I never really understood with people who really just have to go out of their way just to hate on one of these. You don't have to play them, but don't tear down other games that people might like. I also feel like this sort of fits in with the hater part from the last video, because some of these people generally do make playing some games to be very annoying, to be honest. Then, of course, at number 2 is, of course, The Larper. This is kind of I guess maybe a new issue. With Resident Evil 9, when it came out, there was a huge argument on whether or not you needed to play the games to be a fan of the series. The same has also been said for Persona 2. There's been a lot of people who've defended not playing the Resident Evil games, and those people still being fans, which in turn frustrates other people because, well, you kind of have to experience a form of mania to be a fan of it. And I've seen this happen a few times. I've gone to conversations with people who just flat out hate Call of Duty, but they'll just talk about all the same talking points with nothing original, and then it comes out that they don't even play the game, which I kind of find hilarious, to be honest. But I've seen this with quite a few people online. They'll claim to be a fan of something, but they never played it. I've seen this with Persona. There's an old account I used to follow, and it eventually came out that they never played Persona, but they would roleplay. They've never played Persona 4, but they would roleplay as one of the characters from the game. Which, it's like, dude, go play the game. It's like super common to find, or go literally pick another character. And it's also been the same for Resident Evil, because there were a lot of people saying that, oh, you can just watch cutscenes or whatever, and you could still be a fan. And no, go play the games. Now, personally for me, I feel like if you play like at least 2 or 3 of the games in a series, yeah, you could be a fan. Now, obviously this does depend. I mean, there are some series that only have like 2 games, and I'd say, just go play them. I mean, I'm a Blue Reflection fan, and I've only played the 2 games on console. I have not played Sun or Ray yet, but I'd still say I'm a fan. Now, if I just played Blue Reflection, or part of it, or just looked up a walkthrough, I wouldn't say I'm really a fan of that. Now, of course, obviously, before we do get to our final pick, I, of course, want to talk about honorable mention with the leakers. Imagine having everything you worked on leaked because of someone online. That kind of sucks. Yeah, so this was an issue. There's leakers who will just leak entire files from companies or games that they're working on, and then these companies have to clean up after that. Now, I know this is saying something because, hey, haven't I talked about leaks before? Well, yeah. Yes, I will perfectly admit that I have talked about leaks on plenty of my channels. But, frankly, I don't mind not talking about leaks, to be honest. There's a reason why I'm not covering gaming news all the time. But I will totally say, it does suck when some companies do lose all this progress. And yeah, sure, it is nice to know about a game that might have been revealed, but at the same time, it's like, well, patience is also a virtue. And of course, at number 1, we of course have the gatekeepers. Now, this kind of could fit with plenty of other topics for this list, but my definition of gatekeepers is basically people who are just dicks when it comes to new fans. Oh, there's someone who just played Persona. They're not a true Persona fan because they've not played 1 and 2. Or they're not a true Persona fan because they've not played 3 or 4. If they just have 5, yeah, they're a lopper or something. Or Grand Theft Auto fans. You're not a real Grand Theft Auto fan if you have not played all of the games. Or if you just played Grand Theft Auto 5, you're not a Grand Theft Auto fan. Or if you just played Call of Duty, well, you should start with the originals, otherwise you're not a true fan. These are basically people who, no matter what, will find a way to kind of ruin any experience. They'll just make it so that you will not have fun. No matter what entry you start with, no matter how many games you played, unless you were there at day 1, they don't consider you a real fan. And even then, even if you were there from day 1, they might not consider you a real fan. Now, all of this really boils down to just treat people with respect. Does it really matter when someone got into a game series or how many games they played? To me, not really. I mean, if someone just started playing Resident Evil today, cool, I'm glad about that. I hope that they play more because, hey, I want to talk to them about that. But, as I said in my last video, this is not meant to attack all gamers. This is meant to shame the people who do this. Now, sure, everyone might have had one of these opinions or has done one of these actions once before, but as long as we kind of are able to move past this and really become better, I feel like that's kind of the best thing. But of course, as usual, thank you all for watching. This was a super fun video to make, and I will of course see you next time. Peace out.